everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Nation Radio. How's everybody doing tonight? Denise, how are you doing?
I'm doing great and just glad to be here, considering that my show got canceled again last night due to a family urgency. It
Right.
wasn't an emergency, it was an urgency. And they solved their own problem, but I still couldn't focus after they got me all upset and worried. So I figured
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do a very good seventh anniversary show if I was distracted. So
7 years of doing shows.
7 years as of yesterday, actually, exactly. And my very first guest was Rick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so flustered yesterday with everything. Um, I was drowning yesterday. It's just the way that it was. And I did today too for work. So this is going to do me good to have a break. But yeah, my work was killing me yesterday. And so it was just one more thing yesterday. So I figured things happen the way they're meant to.
Right.
And at some point, I am going to do the Rick Rose Memorial Show and have on David and Steve Hayes and all those all
Yeah.
these people that knew Rick and loved him, hated him, whatever they did for Rick, you know,
You
to
gonna
get
get
him off.
Jay Lynch on there?
Yep, I will definitely
Yeah,
have
because I know
Jay.
Rick stayed out there for quite a while with
Yep,
them and did shows and all that
yep.
out there and stuff. Yeah.
And their relationship went both directions, but came
Mm-hmm.
back to center just like it should have. And
Right.
uh,
Yeah, I met
I
Rick
love
the
Jay.
same day that I got to meet you and Ron.
Yeah, but you knew me on. You already
Yeah,
knew me
I knew
other
you
than
ahead of time. I'd just seen Rick in videos and stuff, and then I got to meet him in person and
I.
found out he's just like he was in the videos.
Yeah, and until something happened,
Yeah,
until his military background PTSD kicked in, then
right.
I mean. And tonight, our guest Charlie Fort is back. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what happened at the event that he talked about last week. And he also knew Rick as well. In fact, it was Rick that got me and Charlie to meet each other in person. He
Really?
knew, yeah, Charlie knew who I was from my
Yeah,
kids and everything. But I think we had seen each other maybe one time before, but in a
maybe.
paranormal setting, it was the first time we had been in a paranormal setting together because we were in Rick's video that he did at the first video he did at the Sally House on Good Friday 2015. And we were invited to the 1859 jail.
Yep.
And Charlie ended up being our tour guide.
Yeah. I was one of the tour guys. I can't say I
Yeah.
was the only tour guide,
No,
but
you
man, that
were.
was a great event.
Now,
Yeah.
was you on the team at that time? So I'd met you just right before
Yeah, I
that.
was on Dust to Dawn at that time. We were
Yeah,
doing the
because I
events in the
just
jail.
met you. Well, I met you the night that they finally got you on the team.
You mean
Yeah, yeah,
when they either inaugurated him
Yeah,
yeah.
or
sent him
what do they
in
call
with a
it?
webcam with a cam on a strap on the chest.
That was a great event too. That was that was a great investigation. Should say.
Yeah,
That was a
that
lot of fun.
was it was a lot of fun.
That courthouse is really special
Now
for me.
the investigation at the courthouse with Dust to Dawn before that
Yeah,
was
which I don't think I was there
really
for that one.
wild.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one.
Oh, that one, I tell you what, that's the first investigation I'd ever went on
Yeah,
and everything. And when we all got called to the courtroom, everybody was called on the radio to come to the courtroom. They had lights up on the ceiling, everything going on in there.
yeah.
It looked like a 1970s disco in there and stuff. So what do? I go in and I'm going, okay, I'm going to go all the way over to the far back and sit in this chair over here,
Yeah,
right? They're all talking and everything back and forth. And we get done. They go, yeah, we were seeing the guy back there in the very back chair. And I said, what back chair? And they said, the one you sat down in. And I went, oh, okay. But that night, when Jimmy was setting up the equipment in the jury room, right?
hmm
He's telling me about the equipment and how they set it up. The door is 3/4 of the way open, so we can see both sides of the door,
yeah,
right? And for some reason, I turned and looked at the door, and so did he, and the doorknobs were moving on both
Huh.
sides. And I looked at him and I said, "Did you see that?" And he goes, "Doorknobs?" And I went, "Yep." And he goes, "Yeah."
You
And
know
then
what would have been more interesting?
Sebastian come walking in and goes, "Oh, there's a lady sitting right out here in the chair."
You know what would have been more interesting is if the doorknobs were going different directions.
That would
Yeah.
have been very funny.
All I know is they were moving.
And he
I'm
said,
sitting
and
there
then
going,
and Sebastian says there's a lady sitting out there. Are you sure they were doorknobs?
"Hey, I don't know. Do you know Sebastian?" All I'm saying is, he said there was one sitting right there in the jury chair. "Hey,
Yeah.
Luke, how you doing, brother?"
Uh,
But I mean, that was my first dealing with investigation and teams
yeah.
and everything, you
And I,
know.
after being with Sebastian on several investigations, I do trust anything that he says. Like if he feels something, there's definitely something going on.
Well,
Like
it's like we
I
went to
agree.
the old hospital
Yeah.
downtown,
Yeah.
right? And Sebastian was there. And as we was getting ready to leave, Pastor Gary's walking up the hallway to where the meeting area is there at the opening of the door, right? And before that, me and him had walked down there and smelled this kerosene smell in
Oh.
a 3 foot area. So Pastor Gary walks in to this doorway and comes back out, and his hair standing on his arms and everything. Sebastian's down there. He goes, "I felt something in there. I don't know what it is." Sebastian walks in there and comes walking right back out
Hmm.
and goes, "I don't know what it is, but it's the ugliest thing I have ever seen."
Hmm.
He said, "Let's go."
He was done
So,
with it.
yeah, he was. Hello, Wayne.
Hey, Donna, Luke, and Wayne. How are you guys?
Hello,
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, Ron's out walking.
Like usual.
right.
Yeah.
He got home late today. They're going to be sending him out to Abilene.
Oh,
So I know
Yeah.
you
that's
went.
a fun
I know
trek.
you went to Planacon. I seen all the
Yes.
pictures on there. How was that?
It was a absolute blast. After not being to a Comic Con since 2019, it was definitely overdue. The last con I was at was Star Wars Celebration out in Chicago. That was, I mean, I had a great time there too. Don't get me wrong, but it was good to finally go to the one here in Kansas City. It was much bigger than the last one that I had been to in Kansas City, the last Planet
Hmm.
Comic Con one, and it was a great time. Met a few people, met a few stars. The panelists were all super nice. They had a team there called Omega Paranormal. They were actually nice with us. We sat and talked. We talked to them for a little bit. They're based out of Kansas City, I think.
Yeah, they do events
Yeah,
pretty much every month
yeah,
in Independence, and I've been to a couple of those.
yeah. They were nice. That we stopped and talked to them at their booth for a little bit. They had a panel as well. Unfortunately, we weren't able to stay for their panel, but we stayed for like a few minutes. But it was still awesome. And then got to meet Ralph Macchio, which was
I
really
saw
cool.
that.
So he was
Hmm.
super nice. I
He,
asked him. Oh,
He's
go
all
ahead.
grown up.
Yeah, dude's like he's in his 50s. I want to
yeah,
say.
he's got
Yeah,
to be my age.
Yeah, he's up there, but
yeah.
he looks great for his age. So I don't know what
But
he's
I
doing,
don't.
but
Okay, thank you.
I'm just no. I'm saying for him, like being a movie star and the stress and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the
I'm not
thing is
surprised.
he's paid to stay in shape.
Yeah, true.
You know, all this other stuff. But yeah, I
He
mean,
was yeah he
I
was very
like him.
nice. Yeah, he's a very nice guy. Dave asked him a really funny question. He was, um, I'll say it for the sake of because
Okay, do you want to know how old he is?
yeah
He was born November 4th, 1961. He's the same age as
61.
Ron.
Wow.
Oh, he's a year younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's
60.
yeah I was gonna say
Yeah, he's
geez
60.
he's
I
60.
turned 62 here in next month.
Man, so yeah, he looks great for his age. Uh, and I didn't ask him this, and I should have asked him if he actually practices martial arts, not just from the TV show and the movies and stuff.
You know,
But
I think that was on here.
well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I didn't want to ask him that because it seems like it's a very generic, like somebody would ask him that or something all the time.
Right.
Well,
So I just asked him what was his favorite scene from the TV show, and he said it was for the first time him and Johnny kind of squared up and was like they were about to fight, and there was a huge reaction from the producer or from the film crew and stuff like that. And Dave asked him who was the biggest pain in the on The Outsiders, and he at first he said Tom Cruise was like particular. He was very like specific about things, which that's Tom Cruise, so I kind of get
Mm-hmm.
that. But the guy that he played opposite of, and I can't forget it. I keep forgetting his name. The guy who played Pony Boy.
Thanks,
Uh,
Luke.
I can't think of his name. Blonde hair, obviously blonde haired guy, but like apparently they were actually like they were getting on each other's nerves like every single day. But then they became like best friends. So it was really cool to see his input on things and talk to him for a little bit. And met a guy named Ming Chen, which he's on the Comic Book Men TV show, and he runs a comic book store for Kevin Smith out in what is it, New Jersey. I just can't think of what the comic book store is called, but it was really cool to talk to him, get some pictures. But yeah, it was a great time. This was a big convention. Like I was very like it's the biggest one I think they've had for sure.
Several hundred people.
Oh, easily,
Oh,
easily. Like the amount of space they had for this area, it filled up a good portion of Bartle Hall. Like
oh
it was
my.
at Bartle Hall, and it was
Yeah.
a huge like I couldn't even tell you how big it was, but I know that so they have like the sliding walls or whatever it is to make
Mm-hmm.
room and stuff, and they definitely took out more walls uh, for this space. Like the celebrity row wasn't as big as it used to be, but that's okay with me because I like going and seeing all the artists and the people on the floor. Basically, just all the like I said, the artists, the vendors, all those.
A lot of
That's the
vendors
best part.
there.
Oh yeah, there was a ton of vendors. Yeah, the artist part though, artist alley is the best part because people will literally draw something right there and you can buy it right there. So
Oh,
you
really?
know it's not just a printed copy or something digital that somebody could have just pulled from the internet. No, they literally drew it right there for you, and you can get it signed by them. And so, people have some of their favorite artists, so they go there specifically for that artist. Now,
Right.
one of the big names that canceled that a lot of people were upset about was Elvira. She was supposed to be there,
Mm.
but due to personal reasons, no idea what it was. I just know she canceled, and a few other people was the same way. They couldn't be there because of personal reasons. So she was the biggest one that I heard people gripe about. But there were some great Elvira cosplays there, so I
Oh,
gotta
really?
give people props. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
if
cosplays
Elvira
were
had been there,
fantastic
I
too.
probably would have showed up.
Yeah, she would have been great to see, but no, I get it. I get it.
I mean,
Totally
she's
understand.
still up there in age, but the woman's still, she's
She
Yeah,
got,
lives,
she's
she lives in
kicking it.
Vegas.
I'm
yeah.
not surprised.
I saw her. I saw her in her car one day when we were there.
Nice, nice.
So
Was she? Did you meet her? Or did you say? Did you?
no, she was driving.
Oh, okay, cool.
I know what she look. I know what she looks like without her makeup,
Right.
Yeah,
and she's very pretty. She's
Yes,
very
she is.
petite. I mean, she's probably not much. She's got to be about my height, probably
Right.
about 5'3", 5'4".
yeah. She's not that
So,
tall.
Hi, Rosie.
but I know that she had some health issues.
Yeah.
So
Dave and I, we met up with Jason Kupsik and we hung out with him for I think Saturday is when we hung out.
was it in two
And
buildings like it was before? I mean, it was in multiple buildings when I went in 2018.
no, it was just the one big like
Okay.
huge section of Bartle Hall. Which
Okay.
which
Just
parts
that
were
upper
different?
section up there.
Well, yes and no. There was the big floor was the upper sections, but most of the panels were you take an escalator down, and there was the great hall where it's the ballroom where the biggest panel the more star-studded panels were in the big convention room. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was all just in one building. Now they had events going on outside of like most of the nightlife stuff was pretty like. I think next year I'm going to try to go to more nightlight stuff than what I did this year. I didn't get to go to any, unfortunately, but I'll definitely try to go to some next year. It was a blast.
Well, like I said, I went in 2018, and another childhood,
Yeah,
crush. Ralph Macchio was in my lifetime, my generation.
yeah,
John Cusack was,
Cusack. Yeah,
I had been stalking him since I was 14 years old.
Mm.
Everything that I thought about him went out the window that day.
really.
I lost all respect for him. I
Was
don't
he just
care
was
anymore.
he like a
He was being a political asshole.
oh
But I did find out that the guy who played on Supernatural, oh
is it Misha Collins?
no, not him. He's very political. Crowley.
Carl, that was my next guess. Yeah,
He was great.
cool.
Very, very political, but more on the right than the left,
Yeah,
Right.
but closer to the middle of the right.
you could really tell who like which stars were more political than others Kind of yes and no. Like obviously with COVID, people had to say or had to keep distance from some things. Like Machio, the reason why we had to stay at distance is because he wouldn't.
That's a Cusack.
That's a
Yeah,
Cusack, Luke.
yeah.
Luke
His
was
sister
asking what a
Joan is
Cusack.
very big as well. His parents
I didn't realize he
big
was
out of
that tall.
Chicago. Yeah, I know. In this. I'm probably five. I'm probably still 5'3.5".
Yeah. Now I
So,
haven't seen any of the photo ops for this year, but I'm sure they had to keep distance.
well, you
Whatever.
figure regardless, that picture costs $100.
Yeah.
It's not worth $100.
No.
No.
But it was the last. My mom gave me some money. It was all I got from her. About $100. Um, it was in a gift card she had given me years ago, and I said I was going to
Yeah.
save it for something special. And when I went with Crystal, that's what I got. I met a bunch of paranormal people and all kinds of other stuff, and of course, Crystal was all dressed up. What was I
Yeah.
wearing? Probably. Well, you saw. I was
Yeah.
wearing something like this.
Yeah.
My big Pike Mansion jacket, and I was just very comfortable,
Yeah.
but not comfortable too. I mean, I met a lot of really nice authors.
Yeah.
Saw some things that I was like, really? Why would you buy that? But I mean, you probably saw that too.
There was plenty of stuff there that I'm just like, why is this here? But hey, you make something, there's a market out there for it. There's
Right. Somebody's going to buy it
exactly
Well,
like
somewhere
I,
down the line.
when
Or it's
we
going to be
did-
on eBay.
yeah.
Well, when we did the that paranormal conference out in DeKalb,
Yeah.
the guy who technically it was his event, he had all these dark arts things, and all the people that came to follow us wasn't into the dark arts.
Yeah,
There
he
was
in Con
more
Air,
Ouija
but-
boards there than you'd want to know about.
Yeah. It's
Blood and gore, and
well
yeah.
that's why like I had some of my friends with me who it was their first time pretty much going to a con, and there were a lot of shops they saw throughout the days that didn't really get much traffic. And I told them, and then they're like, oh, "We feel real bad." I was like, "Don't feel bad, don't feel bad at all, because it's like this at every single con where it'll mix and match. Some vendors will do really well here, some won't. When you go to Chicago, other vendors will do really well here, and the people who did really well here may not do well up there. Like that's how it is. So it really just depends
Yeah,
on
it just
the flow.
depends on where you're at and the
Yes.
market that's in the area.
Absolutely.
And Luke, he was in Con Air, and that was one of my favorite movies with him and Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. My cousin Vinny, I loved every second of that movie, especially Marissa Tomei. But Marissa Tomei did another movie with John Cusack called War Inc. You want to get offended? That's the one to watch.
Yeah.
I bought it because I couldn't see it. And so...
And you watched it and you're like, whoa, here's why I couldn't see it.
Yeah. At least not with kids. In fact, when I watched it on DVD, I had to watch it alone.
Yeah.
During the day when the kids were in school, because I didn't want them to think that I thought this was okay. And and Hilary Duff was in that as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Rosie, the one that we had in DeKalb was closer to. It was a paranormal conferences called Scare.
Con?
No, it was. I want to say Scare Show. Yeah, Scare Show.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that did it is really into creating movies and all this other stuff. He's been a producer on some things, but he's really into the paranormal. And he liked me, and he knew that people would follow me places, and invited me to be the MC. And really, I'm a really good MC. I know something about everything.
Yeah.
Makes it
That
really
we know.
handy. And Charlie, the reason we didn't listen to your show was because you said what it was going to be about. And Ron's like, I hate those kind of shows.
Oh, game shows?
But I love those kind of
Oh,
shows.
that's fine.
And so I ended up going over to the kids anyway.
Oh, it's
How
okay.
did your game show go?
So I thought it went really well. We had a few of our regulars that were missing, which is fine. Everybody's got their own lives to live. but I think it went really well. It started off a little slow in the beginning, but then we had a few people like we don't expect people to always be there right at 8 o'clock. So
Right.
we that's why we do our like, hey, what'd you do this week? How was your week? Kind of
Right.
thing. Waste 5, 10, 15 minutes of us talking about how everything went, and then
That's a
hopefully we'll
quarter of
get
your show.
well.
If you do 15 minutes,
It's
that's a
fine.
quarter.
It's usually between 10 minutes. Just depends on how active. Like, well, I mean, shoot, we talked about Comic Con. We're 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it
But
just
still, you talked about that last week, and I didn't know if people might want to hear about it.
well, kind of because we do have the Patreon the next hour, so we can talk about more like other things that next hour, which we didn't worry about doing a Patreon last week because the gal that one of our Patreons who subscribed was actually like, no, let's just keep this going. Like I'm not going to be upset if you don't do a Patreon kind of thing. So it was cool for me to keep it going.
Bye, Rosie.
We just kept the game show
Break
going.
a leg, Piper.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast.
Yeah.
We did different kinds of categories, and so Dave he made up he made like or he got like 4 or 5 different photos, and some were real and some were fake that he implanted something into it, and people had to analyze it to figure out whether it was real or fake.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really cool on what he did. So it was neat to figure out which people actually kind of knew what to look for and the shading and how it actually
Did they
how
figure it
things
out?
looked. Yes, they were actually. It went very very good. There was one person she's older, which I'm not gonna.
You know
grill
what? If
people
they
too
were
much.
watching on their little bitty dinky cell phones,
Exactly.
Ron watches you guys on this.
Yeah, the TV. Yeah,
The big, yeah. He watches you on this, and I have to comment through this.
yeah. It's just that's how it is, which is fine with me. Like but it went over very well, and we did the paranormal questions on certain. Like he did 10 questions, I did 10 questions, and we split it up by 2 rounds. We did 5. We did technically 10, 5 of mine, 5 of his for the first round, the pictures, and then 5 of his, 5 of mine for the next one. But in the beginning, we did a Mad Lib where we had to get words from the people that were watching, and then we read the Mad Lib at the end, and it was actually a lot of fun. So we're definitely going to do it again. For
Good.
the people that joined us, they definitely want us to do it again. So
Okay. Well, I'll definitely make sure that I get to try to listen this next
yeah,
time,
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But
because it's probably stuff I would have been that I would have been really good at.
probably, yeah. I had super easy questions, and he had the really hard questions.
He always
So
does.
He does. He's very critical.
He asks the best questions.
He does.
During paranormal investigation. I almost sent something over there about Jack Mehoff when you guys were going live last night. But I didn't.
You should have. You totally should have.
Oh yeah. The thing is he'd have lost his
Probably.
he'd have blown chunks probably.
But it was still last night was fun too. I mean, going live and we had a few things happen.
Well, that wasn't last night. That was Sunday night, right?
Oh shoot, yeah, you're right. Sorry, the investigation.
It's okay.
From Sunday night.
I've
had a long weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
So did I. I had to go over to the kids on Wednesday night and Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I didn't get back until after 1:00 in the morning.
Oh wow.
Friday night, we found out that Tyler had to work until 1 a.m. Friday and Saturday. No, Friday. And I just told Ron, I said, if he's got to get up, and he had to go into the office because he was having internet issues at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm just staying the night over there. So I didn't get to bed any night until last
Tyler and
night.
Leah's not living there anymore?
Huh?
Tyler and Leah's not living there anymore?
No, they have an apartment over here. You know where the apartments are behind where Pizza Hut used to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pizza Hut's closed, by the way.
I figured it probably would be.
It closed before the pandemic hit.
Really?
Not
Yeah,
surprised.
the thing is, I think the pandemic would have saved it.
Probably.
Yeah.
People staying home and
So,
Delivery.
yeah.
right, and now we got Casey's delivery.
Hey, I prefer Casey's over Pizza Hut.
Our
I'm
Casey's
sorry to
up
say
there
this, but
quit delivering.
Casey's can't get the pizza right. I ordered a pizza with
Really?
light sauce. It had extra sauce. I ordered it for the bottom to be cooked, and it was floppy. And then when I want if I want my pizza floppy, I'm going to go order New York style. I'm not going to order Casey's.
Right.
Right.
So that kind of irritated me, but it is what it is. But yeah, they moved out. July will be 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's crazy. Didn't know that.
And Luke, no.
Getting there.
He has not burned down the
No,
White
he
House.
hasn't burned the White House down.
They don't let him near the kitchen.
I mean, I doubt he's really ever in the White House, really, if you think about it.
So.
And you
Well,
seen Luke's
Delaware
comment
all the time.
about he did his
Just
thing
landed
in Scotland
Oh, okay.
and got
So,
home.
are you going to get any further than Scotland?
No, he had that big speaking engagement in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So Monday night, we'll bring back Born TV after 9. He'll be on there talking
Sweet.
about that.
Okay.
He'll bring that out because, yeah, it'll be interesting.
Well, they've treated poor Luke like a Biden like a Biden voter.
We'll put it this way: the illegals coming across the southern border get treated 500% better than a citizen of the United States flying in from the UK and lands at JFK and they don't let him in.
How can they tell him turn around and go away?
Because he applied for his U.S. citizenship, did it. He's been a U.S. citizen for a year. Somebody forgot to upload it into the computer.
I remember that.
He got there, showed them all the paperwork, went in there, they pull his name up, he ain't nowhere.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara, we treat Biden voters like they deserve to be treated. We treat them with remorse.
Oh, it was so, Luke goes, it was so fun there. It was the sweet smell of rebellion in the air.
But
and an American who came over brought me 48 Twinkies.
Nice.
How old were the Twinkies?
It don't matter. They don't go bad.
Okay, you want to hear something really bad, though? The
What?
company that's buying, the company that saved the Twinkie is the company that's buying half my company and it owns Coinstar.
What's the company?
Ron works for. Apollo. They saved Interstate Bakeries.
Do you know where they're based out of?
Apollo? New York City.
Okay.
Yeah. They had to bring the Twinkie back.
Just curious how many foreign interests the company has is what I was
None. Cool. All American.
Good.
Right.
Does Apollo go in on that?
Yeah, they're the ones that saved the Twinkie when they purchased.
Oh, I thought you said Twitter.
No, they did not go in.
But
that's Elon Musk bought Twitter.
I was going to say that's the only thing that I've really been paying attention as far as political wise is Elon Musk is saving free speech, and I've seen so many people.
Right.
But is he?
No, I think he is.
We don't know anything yet until he does it.
I think he is because this past literal couple days, a lot of people who I follow who are shadow banned and who are basically like kind of kicked towards the back, they've had a huge follower increase and a huge like increase. There's actually like a big, not investigation, but there's you could definitely tell from someone who is on Twitter pretty regularly, I guess I would say. Following these people, I would see their like count and it would maybe get to like 1,000, 2,000 people. Now it's like 10 to 20,000 people.
Right.
Yeah, but the people that I like got banned a long time ago, like Dan Bongino.
Well, there's a lot of people coming back. There's a lot of people now finally getting their accounts restored. So Trump doesn't even want to come back. He said he's not coming back.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to come back, but I bet he does.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Especially if Elon reaches out to him.
As soon as Elon, they signed the dotted line and they handed over.
Things have already started changing.
Yeah.
Like there's been a lot of
things are changing.
They said it'll be 6 months before Elon owns the whole thing.
Right, because it has to go through all the SEC or SEC crap and all that. I've been through so many mergers and acquisitions. It's ridiculous.
There's been people leaving Twitter, not necessarily leaving in troves, but there's been more left-wing people leaving. It's amazing how much of an aversion to free speech they have. You'd think free speech for everyone is
they're little dictators.
Exactly. All they have is to control.
You know what? They're leaving. So
it's
what?
good. Exactly.
If they're left, you would think they'd want to stay and just keep putting the propaganda crap out.
Yeah, exactly.
What it
but
is?
They're wanting to leave and get away from it. And it's like,
Elon Musk, all he has to say is, "Hey, leftists, if you don't like it, go buy your own Twitter. Go buy your own platform."
Just like
now.
Elon said, the people that hate him, he hopes they stay on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely.
And post anything they want about him.
Yep.
Right.
He doesn't.
That's free speech.
No.
That's how I am.
This is going to be a private company, and everybody's sitting there, well, it's not a money maker. It's not this. You watch.
Oh, it will be. It'll be.
You want to hear what's
He's going to
really
change Twitter a lot.
You know what's really bad are the people that are out there saying that he doesn't pay his fair share in taxes. He's paying taxes.
All idiots.
That's all
He's
a
paying
lie.
taxes to the United States, to Canada, and South Africa.
He's
Right.
paying a ton of taxes.
I don't know where else. And
Elizabeth
no
Warren
matter
can
where
go
else.
shove it, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, where's she paying taxes to?
Exactly.
Goes right
Where's
back
most of
here.
Where's most of
into her
Congress
pocket.
paying taxes to?
Don't know.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
needless to say, if you don't know what you're talking about, people, you need to keep your mouth shut.
That's
Here's
right.
Here's a pretty good question. So, not too long ago, somebody did talk about that there will be food shortages. We know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that in the last, I would say, 2-3 weeks, food processing plants, several of them have burnt down?
Mm-hmm.
You guys notice that?
Mhm.
Did you
Yeah,
hear about that?
Lacey. Well, if you've been following Lacey at all,
No, I haven't. Where on where?
Instagram.
No, that's gonna have
You
to
need
change.
to watch her stories.
Okay.
watch her
Didn't
stories.
know she was on Instagram. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. So she's
He
been
will now.
posting. Well, him and Lacey have common interests.
Right.
So, well, actually, Charlie and probably all my children have
I
common
would say
interests.
some, maybe not all of us have common interests, but yes,
No, you do.
the same thing, I should say. I mean, I don't really know much about Lindsay and what she likes though.
Basically,
She's
whatever.
so far away.
Yeah, but she's less like Lacey.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, and our kids stay pretty much up on all the stuff. But yeah, there's all kinds of things out there. Lacey posted something about that they destroyed all these chickens that had the bird, that supposedly one chicken had the bird flu and they killed them all.
Right.
And it's like, this is back to mad cow disease back in the 90s
Mm-hmm.
when they were killing entire, you know,
Herd.
they were killing herds of animals, or shutting down meat processing plants because they had all these mad cow. I'm like,
During COVID, wasn't there something not too long, a couple years ago? Wasn't there like a big disease and they had to kill off a bunch of animals? I could have sworn I heard.
it's probably
maybe.
COVID because animals.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know China. They're killing like people
Cats
who
and
catch
dogs.
COVID. Yeah, people that catch COVID. They just go and kill their animals.
because they can't take care of them at that point.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
you
I've
look
seen
at all
videos
this
of bags of
farmland
animals still alive.
that Bill
like,
Gates owns. Now,
Bill
it's
Gates and
sitting
BlackRock.
out there doing nothing,
Yeah,
and the
Yeah.
government's paying
Well,
other farmers
that's gonna
out
be-
in the Midwest not
yeah.
to plant or to destroy their crops.
yep. They're
But
gonna
that's
start
always
doing.
been though.
Yeah,
I mean, there's always been the fallow field thing.
yeah.
You know,
They're
so
gonna start doing more bioengineering of foods.
Mhm.
I don't want my food
I
bioengineered.
don't either. I want real food.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have to start doing gardens. That's what we're gonna have to do.
I gotta plant my. Now that I don't think
That's
we're gonna have
why
any
I
more
got
phosphorus.
timber and I got rivers and yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have real food.
If I have to go, like, don't get me wrong. You know, I like the convenience of society and technology and stuff. But if I have to
Oh,
go
yeah.
live out off the woods, I know exactly where I'm going.
This makes me
Mhm.
think of Supernatural and the Leviathan having their
Yeah.
food processing plant. And I forgot what that was called that they were putting in all the food, but it was that gray gook,
Yeah,
Yeah.
high fructose corn syrup, maybe.
maybe. I mean, they've been
but-
slowly killing us for years now,
Well,
Well, if
yeah.
you look at the
and pumping
prices
us
and
full of
everything
diseases.
of the meat that's going up, how is McDonald's and Burger King and all these
They're raising
places-
their prices.
Because
I know.
all
You two people
bioengineered.
cannot eat at McDonald's for less than $20 now.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you have to have their app to save some money.
yeah.
Mhm.
And if you don't have their app, you're pretty much screwed. We were able to eat breakfast at McDonald's for like $6 when we were coming back from our trip. We ate dinner one night. They said, oh, it's 17 something, and it ended up being 9 because I used the app.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I got
Well,
because you figure you get chicken nuggets for 29 cents if you buy a Big Mac. Well, guess
Right.
what? I love Big Mac, so I got a Big Mac and got him his nuggets for
Yeah.
29 cents. And it saved us quite a bit of money. Who knew that 10 nuggets were now like $7?
yeah.
Yeah, really.
Before too long, though, we're gonna hit a major recession.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I think it's
we
coming.
will. We will, just when.
That's right. Just when do they want it to happen, right?
It's getting closer.
It is. We go
It
through
really
the
is.
major inflation, and then what usually follows? Giant recession.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It'll be like another, not necessarily a Great Depression, but things do look a whole lot worse eventually. But Yeah,
So-
I have. Yeah.
So we got
Darius Stone wants to know the spookiest thing you've ever seen.
Paranormal wise, or
Because I can tell you some
Spookiest thing
stories
I've
about
ever
Walmart.
seen is sitting in the White House. But
Ah.
like I said, if we're gonna go with paranormal, that's a whole different thing.
right.
So
Yeah. I'm gonna say
the
probably
paranormal.
paranormal.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Paranormal, bro.
Let's see. Spookiest thing you've ever seen.
Who asked the question?
his name's Darius.
Um,
I thought he said.
I gotta pull the vaults here. Give me a second.
I know.
Okay,
Oh,
spookiest thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I would.
Come on over.
I know spookiest thing that would probably scare other people, but for my own reaction, something that's actually like initially made me like freak out. I would say when I was helping with it was an event, not an investigation, at Belvoir Winery. We were in one of the medical wings. I can't remember whether it was the hospital or if it was the nursing home. One of the
If
two.
it was the nursing home, was it the small
Depends on
building,
what happened.
I'm pretty sure it was the bigger building.
the bigger building, the far end,
Maybe not the far, maybe
or the one in the
farthest.
middle?
Kind of in the middle.
Yeah, so the old nursing home, not the new nursing
There
home.
were multiple stories. I do know that, and it's the one with the collapsed staircase.
Okay, that
Oh.
would be that's the one of the nursing homes.
That's a nursing
Okay.
home.
So I was the only one that saw it. Nobody else saw it, which totally, like, I was very surprised. But that could be a phenomenon in itself because that happens with people and hearing things too. So I was looking down the hallway, and this is a really long hallway. And there's like 2 or 3 other people with me. And so we're looking down this hallway, and all of a sudden, like we can see like lightning flashing through the windows on the far side of the building. Well, it's pretty easy to tell what looks like something and what looks like lightning flashes. For like a split second, I saw what looked like just a weird white face, and it made me just instantly react. Like I had no time to like dissect or anything. It was just an instant body reaction, and it scared the crap out of me. I was generally like, just my entire body, there was a giant shockwave sent through my body of fear, and I was just like, okay, like I've never had that happen before, and I instantly reacted, but it wasn't like a screaming, yelling, oh my gosh, it was just like a, oh my god, like jolt of energy just went through me, and it looked like I saw a face at the end of the hallway, and it didn't look good. So I would say that's probably the creepiest thing that I've ever seen. Now I've seen a full figure in front of me at the edge of my bed, but
Yeah.
that didn't really scare me. That was just I was
I've
expecting it to
seen
happen.
full figure apparitions
Yeah.
in color, and
Yeah.
they don't scare me. They startle me,
Yeah.
you know. And I've seen that a couple of times. But as far as being scared,
Yeah.
I
Well, they
haven't
did
really.
say technically creepiest thing, so not necessarily being
Creepy.
scared.
Creepy was that old hospital in downtown Kansas City when you had to go clear the building with guns.
Oh, that
That
would be
was
pretty
creepy.
Yeah. That would be pretty.
That and
creepy.
looking in those rooms and seeing those hypodermic needles laying
Yeah.
on
I was
the
gonna
floor in
say-
a big mound.
I could have told you all that was going to happen, Carl.
That was, I mean, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
bad
I was
area.
expecting an old hospital and everything. Yeah. But open elevator shafts, we put
Yeah.
chairs in front of them because they had water in them. And I'm like, oh, crap. I fall in there, I'll drown.
Yeah.
But walking by them rooms, and I looked in there. Gary looked in there. Jimmy was there. I said, we got to set something in front of that room. In the dark, somebody walk in there. That could be a bad, bad deal. Because all you'd had to do is trip, and you would have fell right into them.
Yeah.
You'd came up with 500 of them stuck to you.
Yeah,
But to see the big pile of them,
mhm.
and I'm talking a pile 3 foot tall, 5 foot diameter
Yeah.
in 2 rooms.
Oof.
The drug use up there was outrageous.
Is this downtown or where?
Yeah.
Yeah, down there at 30th and Main.
Oh, okay. What's the
They were
creepiest thing
turning
you've
it
seen?
into condos and
it's
stuff,
actually
but
still
now
for
it's for sale.
Yeah, they never made it there.
No.
So
No.
whatever
the,
they started, they didn't finish.
What's
Oh,
the creepiest thing
Good
you've
thing.
seen, Denise?
The
Well, that's
creepiest
good.
thing I've seen is I don't know if it's. I'm gonna go with the murder of my father.
Oof,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Murder of my grandmother. Those things would be probably it. And
Do you?
long story short, it was in an out of body experience. I did not witness it.
Oh, okay. I was
Live.
gonna
I mean,
say.
I witnessed it live, but through an out of body experience. When
Right.
I was my grandmother when I was 4, and my dad when I was 10. That would have to be the 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 spookiest but hardest to explain of
Now
all of it.
your grandmother was killed too.
Yeah, my grandmother was murdered by my grandfather when I was 4, and my
Oh,
dad was murdered by my grandfather when
There,
I was
yeah.
10.
her
I
family
knew
has a
that.
lot of interesting,
Well, yeah, it's like she says her
interesting,
grandpa's a
you know.
serial killer.
Yeah.
You know.
So needless to say, my own life is probably spookier than what a lot of people live.
Well,
Yeah.
if you want to know scarier, your gift and ability
Mm.
to 99% of the people out here would be scary.
So, and Sandy, thank you
Yeah.
so much for being sorry. But you know what? All the things that happened to me in my life made me this person that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And though I regret the fact that I didn't get to be around my father more, and you figure I've dealt with this now for 46 years, coming up this year. It's made me who I am, and I can't. There was a reason that it happened. I just don't know why.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't live my whole life feeling sorry for myself or using it as the catalyst for everything in my life. You know, my sisters used it as I didn't have a dad, and so I didn't have this.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't have a dad, and I didn't have that, and I turned out okay. And I'm pretty proud of the person I turned out to be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a bad person. I've never been to jail. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated, and I think it all works out. But again, not I don't blame that what happened for the things that have happened to me
Right.
either. So, you know, I have a healthy outlook, like you said, healthy attitude. I've always had a healthy outlook on life, and my mom did a great job on making sure that we had an outlet for all of it, all the things. But thank God the internet didn't exist
Right.
back then, because we would have known that my grandfather was a serial killer by the time he killed my dad.
Yep.
Mm.
You know, so now, you know, and at this point, I can't even talk to my sisters about it because it's hard to explain to them as to how I know all this. So
Yeah.
it is.
Well, some
Um,
people aren't as open and accepting to things either. You gotta, and trying to talk about that is very difficult for them. They don't want to come to the realization of it, but yeah, it's not good.
so my grandfather got away with the death of my grandmother by car accident. So what I saw when I was 4 years old was my grandparents were driving in a car in Baltimore across a bridge at Annapolis Road. Okay. For a 4 year old to know what road it was amazing. But we did at one time, I lived with him down the street. So from there, and he hit a pole and tore up the whole passenger side of the car. The thing is he was drinking and he was driving, and my grandmother survived the accident. She died. She had 2 broken arms and 2 broken legs. The seatbelts weren't required in a car then, back in 1970.
Right.
Like, yeah, it was. I believe it was 1970. Might have been late 1969, or no, it was February 1970 because my sister Judy was born. So when my grandfather got out of the car to go around to the other side to check on my grandmother, he grabbed her by the neck and twisted her head. And for a 4 year old, that's exactly how I described it to my parents. I went to my parents, and we lived in Paterson, New Jersey at the time, and there was a phone call. And before the phone call happened, I had told my dad and my mom, I said, Grandpa twisted Grandma's neck and she's sleeping. She's not going to wake up. And That's when they called and told my grandma, or told us that my grandma had died in a car accident. So, and she did die with 2 broken arms, 2 broken legs, and a broken neck.
So what? Okay, you told your dad you was 4 years old, and then your dad got killed when he was 10.
Mm-hmm.
So in those 6 years, did he understand the gift you had?
No, they just thought that.
What an imagination you have.
Yeah, because my sister at this, when my sister was a little bit older, when she was 3 years old, she was taking a hammer and beating her friend back into the wall.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay, this is an imaginary friend, supposedly.
Yeah.
So the thing is did my sisters also see?
Yeah.
And blocked it.
I'm going to beat this ghost into a wall.
Well, he made her mad. The ghost boy made her mad, or the imaginary friend made her mad, and she said she went downstairs and got a hammer, and my mom asked her what she was doing with it. She goes, "My friend made me mad. I'm putting him back in the wall."
Oh,
so
crap.
all you heard was bam, 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 and Judy was 3 or 4 years old at the time, and so
like, all right, honey, have fun nailing the wall.
Yeah. So, and it was strange, but like I said, it wasn't uncommon for me and my sisters to say we saw stuff. Are you okay? So it wasn't uncommon, but like I said, look, barrel seagrass.
Ooh.
Spirits in
You
a
see it,
jar.
Charlie? You
Yes,
told me.
Spirits.
Have you tried it yet?
No, I just
Okay.
bought it 2 hours ago.
Okay.
They had a
It's a
big
good one.
display at Lucas
I
Liquors.
had it on sale. They wanted $90 at brown bag, and it was $79 at
Yeah.
Lucas.
It's
I said that sounded like a deal.
So Darius, my grandfather never got charged in my
Better
grandmother's.
be good.
But he did get charged for involuntary manslaughter on my father because, again, he was drinking at the time. And he got 4 years for involuntary manslaughter.
That's all he got?
Yeah.
That was it. And he was actually sending.
Yeah, he thought they're lenient today.
Well, it was Maryland. I mean, that should tell you something.
And he stabbed him.
Yeah, he stabbed him in the liver and he bled to death.
Just one time?
Yep, just once. And so basically my dad was standing with his back to him doing something and he got stabbed in the back at the time. And like I said, I got up the next morning and I went out in the kitchen and I told Mom everything that happened. And my dad's girlfriend confirmed every bit of it and said that was exactly what happened. So yeah, that is probably the scariest thing to see. And honestly, since then, I don't think anything paranormal has ever really scared me, except for the chair being thrown at me. That scared me.
Yeah.
I mean, truly scared me.
Shook you up a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, Darius, it was on purpose.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Again, I don't let it define my life. It's an interesting footnote to everything. And after jail, he went and lived with his other son, and he ended up living there until he died in
the other son actually let him live with him?
Because he wasn't there. My uncle was not there when all this happened, and
so of course he didn't. Yeah.
He didn't believe that it was intentional. He believed it was an accident, and he ended up living there with them until February 12th, 1992, when he died from a heart attack. Which is funny because our daughter was born a year later. Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. And back to that other question, I'd be more scared to see if I saw an alien than I would a ghost.
Yeah.
I would be. Yeah.
I would
absolutely.
too.
We've seen plenty of ghosts.
Yeah.
And are the ghosts we're seeing really ghosts or are they aliens? I don't know. But if I saw something that I thought was an alien, it would scare the living daylights out of me.
Right.
And after driving through the desert 2 nights, you would have thought we might have seen something.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sure did.
Never know. Maybe they didn't want you to see him that time.
Yes, the police. That's why he got Darius. Yes, the police and the courts said that it was unintentional as well. But that's only because he was drunk. Nowadays, you would be charged fully whether you were drinking or not.
Yeah, at least second or third.
Right. Like if you now,
Yeah,
back then, if you were drinking and driving and you killed someone, they would just go, well, you killed someone, but there were extenuating circumstances, you were drinking.
And it wasn't your fault you were drinking.
Right.
Now
Back
it's
back in the
vehicular
70s and 80s, even the 90s, they didn't really throw the book at you
Mm-mm.
until much later. I mean, you had to be
I
a
definitely
multiple
don't now.
offender. But then for a while there, it was, everything you're getting thrown under the bus. But back then, it was, they considered it extenuating circumstances. He wasn't in his right mind because he was drinking, and that's how they called it involuntary manslaughter. But the thing is the reason that I say it was intentional was because my grandfather lived in a part of Baltimore where he kept his knives in the living room for protection. And I knew this because I used to live there. I used to live with him, with my mom, which is strange that my mom left my dad and we ended up living with my grandfather on my dad's side.
Your dad's dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So we lived there for a while, and I went to inner city schools, all kinds of stuff. So I knew this house very well. So when I was having the out of body experience and I saw him go into the living room and come back with something shiny, I knew what it was. It was, a real long knife. And he walked into the kitchen, and him and my dad were arguing. And lo and behold, my dad got stabbed in the back and went through his liver, and he bled to death on the way. Well, he's bleeding at the hospital on the way to the hospital, and he actually died in South Baltimore General Hospital. But when you ask about, like, people ask places that you'd like to investigate, I'd like to investigate that house where we used to live in Baltimore, because I think that it would be interesting to find out if my dad was still there at times. But I've seen him, I've heard him. I don't think he's stuck there if he's there, because I've seen him, heard him everywhere we've lived. He's followed us wherever we lived. Me, Donna, Judy, Mom. We don't know who saved Mom in the accident. My mom was in a head-on collision crossing Interstate 81. She was hit by an 18-wheeler. I think the truck came across and hit her head-on, spun her around, and she said she felt like she had been taken up out of the car. She did not have any injuries. Okay, my mom had osteoporosis and COPD.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was not a strong woman physically. Mentally, yes. Physically, no. But she said that it felt like somebody took her out of the car and put her back in the car, that she could see it from above.
After it stopped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did a woman who bruises when you just hug her not end up being hurt?
Right.
Exactly.
So was it my dad? Was it Ansel, her husband, that had passed away? Was it my grandmother? We don't know, but think about
Something picked her up.
It was a Chevy Monte Carlo.
I've heard people tell those type stories before.
Yeah.
That's
Save him from a car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they never should have survived.
Yep.
Yes, Sandy, that's what you heard. My grandfather was a serial killer.
Speaking of car accidents, the guy who played Sam,
Jared
Padalecki.
Jared Padalecki was in a severe car accident.
Yeah, and I guess he's stable and
he's at home.
Yeah, he's back. Like, what was it? Jensen Ackles said that he shouldn't be alive. Like, he said he walked away, or not walked away, but he's recovering from a crazy car accident that he shouldn't have survived. So
yeah, and he was a passenger in the car. They were supposed to be at a conference this past weekend, and that's when he talked about it. But when
is
you're
he doing that show still?
Yeah, Walker.
Oh, is it?
So, but one of those things that when you're talking about Comic-Con. Yeah. What people don't realize, it's a road show.
Yeah, right. It's a type of road show. Well, not that one. There's no other Planet Comic-Cons, though. Planet Comic-Con is just Kansas City.
Oh, really?
I saw that there was tickets for one in Oklahoma. Oh, is that Oddities?
Yeah, there's
that's a road show?
Yes, Oddities, but there are other road show Comic-Cons, but Planet Comic-Con is just Kansas City, I'm pretty sure.
I could have swore I saw it was other places.
Did you go? Charlie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you showed your
went all
picture.
weekend.
So who puts on
I saw
Planet
Dave.
Con?
I
Dave
can't
posted
think of
all
what
his-
the guy's name is. It's Chris Johnson. I don't know if that's his name exactly, but yeah. Anytime that I get on here and I see Planet Comic Con, it's all just Kansas City.
We'll know here in a minute.
Really?
Yeah, it's now the Wizard Con and like some of those are put on all over the place.
Right.
And then the one in San Diego is the same people that do the one in New York. Now those are the two big ones: is New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con. But it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same people that put those on. But yeah, as far as I know, Planet Comic Con is just Kansas City. Now there is another one that's also just Kansas City, and it's called Kansas City Comic Con, and that takes place usually later in the year.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great time. I'm hoping they do more paranormal stuff next year, like having this one group there. And then I know they've done stuff with Koopsik and Dave in the past, so I'm hoping they do more stuff this year or next year. So we'll see.
Right.
You know what's unusual? I mean,
Did they have a lot of paranormal stuff there?
No, there was just like one
I didn't
group.
think
and
they would.
that
there's like
one
a
group did
handful
panel.
usually. Usually,
Yeah.
some authors would have some
More like
paranormal stuff, and
Batman, Spider-Man.
Well, I think it'd be cool if they could get some like paranormal celebrities, maybe to draw out different kinds of fans, because Comic-Con is supposed to be for multitudes of different kinds of fans. Like for example, my first Comic-Con that I went, Planet Comic-Con that I went to, there was like maybe one small section for gaming, like video gaming, and now there was this huge section that was just video games. I'm talking like old arcades, pinball machines, virtual reality gaming, tournaments gaming's going on, and they had tabletop gaming going on in a different room. So it was really nice to see how much it had grew from the first time that I was there. So it's cool that it's kind of coming more stuff. So it's really neat.
well, you know, they said in 2020 and 2019 there was 60,000 guests that appeared.
60,000?
Comic Con.
I haven't heard the official, but I feel like it's more than that. Saturday was
50,000?
insanely packed.
Think about that. $35 a ticket.
Yeah. Well, now too, it's if you did all 3 days was like, gosh. So technically the online price was $79, but after all the fees and taxes, it was like $99 for all 3 days.
Right.
So, and I think Sunday was only $35.99, but
That maybe if you went to the door, but yeah, I mean, it
that
was
was online.
like I said, when I looked at the prices, it was $35 for Saturday, $35 for Sunday, and
pay me $100 to go.
yeah, I think it was like $35 a day.
When was
So if
this?
you got it for less than $100, you're doing great.
When was this?
I looked at the prices yesterday.
For Planet Comic Con?
Yeah.
It was like 21 day, 40 something on Saturday, and then 30 something Sunday.
Yeah, I think it had 2 days for 40.
Yeah, they did a combo for sure for just 2 days, but yeah,
It
was
Christy.
interesting.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just don't like the parking down there.
Yeah, so where I always go, and I've been able to park there 2 hours after the con starts. It's next to this church on the west side of Bartle Hall, and there's an underground parking garage there that nobody really goes to, and it's like $20 like for the whole day. So
I parked all the way down when I went with Crystal.
mhm.
We parked down by the Power and Light and walked the
Good
5 or
gracious.
6 blocks.
how
It was
how
like 6 blocks.
what time did you get there?
It was
What time?
all uphill.
What time did you get there during the day?
We got there at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh, Denise, you could have parked. Oh, okay, so getting there can be a pain, but if you come in from the north side and you can take a right-hand turn, is way better than taking a left-hand turn at that light, because that light takes forever. There is no left-hand
I didn't
turn
have
lane.
any problems parking there. Mostly
No, I'm not
because
saying you had a problem. I'm just saying if you didn't want to walk that far.
you know what? It was February. It was nice. I dropped Crystal off at the door and I went and found parking.
Yeah, I just
How
You
was
know.
the parking by Bartle Hall?
So if you go there, I would say probably 2 hours after the beginning of the con, you got to park pretty far away. There were people coming from the opposite side of the Kauffman Center, like coming from like if you go
That sucks.
down Broadway, going
Yeah.
down Broadway on the other side of the Kauffman Center.
Were they
People parked-
walking from up
Yes.
from down there? Oh my God,
Yes.
that's about
Yeah,
a mile
they-
and a half.
Yeah.
They're talking about
And
wanting to
uphill.
build the new baseball stadium
Yeah.
downtown. I'm
Where
like,
the heck are they going to put parking?
they don't have it.
That's what I was
Exactly.
telling Ron. I said they don't have enough
I
space
said,
to put it.
nobody
downtown.
wants to go downtown, not on their own.
They need to
free will
take
anyway.
some of the buildings out and put up parking bad.
Well,
Right. What
did
are they
you
going to do?
see
Take
the
out the power line
diagram
building?
for if they
Right.
change Arrowhead and take it to Overland Park?
No, that.
Oh, yeah,
I,
It'll never
right.
happen, but
I
they
don't want
showed
to think
the
about
whole
that.
diagram of what it'd look like.
It could happen.
Enclosed.
You know
It
what
could
I
happen. All the players live in
Well, yeah,
Overland
they're-
Park.
Kansas side's wanting to build a
Yep.
Arrowhead.
there's
Yeah.
an easier solution. Take out a lot of the underground Kansas City and turn that into parking.
They won't do
There
that.
you go.
I
Because
know
we
there's
use
just too
it-
much history.
Well, the thing is there's not only that, we use a lot of that is those caves for storage.
Yeah.
I
A lot
mean,
of
that's
food
where our cold
storage is down
food
there.
storage is at.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
It just makes sense, but it's just like, come on, like. But it's amazing. I didn't notice how much the buildings connected to each other underground. KC, we actually went from Bartle Hall. We were trying to get to the Aladdin, but the Aladdin's been closed down because of COVID. It's freaking stupid. But yeah, we were trying to get into the Aladdin from the underground entrance, and that was really, really neat. I've never been to that part of Kansas City, so it was really cool.
That's the Aladdin Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still called the Aladdin? I thought they changed the name of
Yeah,
it.
no, it's still called the Aladdin,
It's-
but
You
it's
say
shut
it's
down.
closed?
Yeah, it is permanently closed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of things. Well, you know what? Is Bazooka's permanently closed too?
I don't know. I haven't been in several years.
I haven't heard.
They've expanded from what I heard.
Probably.
Actually, you could have went down the street and went to Tomstown and checked out the
Oh,
distillery.
I don't.
Mhm.
Went to one called Big Rip, which is the one that worked at Cubes.
Yeah.
They were pretty good. Their
that
beers
place
were really
is so
nice.
little.
Yeah, that's
It
where,
is, but their beers were nice. I was actually pretty
They
impressed.
they're really nice people. I've been there.
Yeah, it was really
But they-
tasty. I liked it.
Yeah, they sponsor the Ectoplasm show.
Yeah, I'm not normally a beer guy, but I think I'm more into craft beers than normal American crappy beers.
right.
I think he is too.
Like, because we like flavor. That's why we like whiskey, right? We like our flavors. Well, if I'm gonna drink cold piss water, then I'll drink regular beer. Like, sorry, pardon my French. I know it's a family show, but that's
That's
Yeah.
not considered a cuss word.
okay. Cool. That's good. I'm glad we're safe there. But I don't like the taste that Bud Light or any of those other beers give me. I just don't like it.
What is that?
That's
Disgusting.
That's a bot.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't worry about it. We
I
don't
thought.
talk about it. We just,
Yeah. We ignore it.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
And Luke-
that's Twitter. That's or not Twitter. That's
Yeah,
Twitch.
that's Twitch. I hate it.
yeah.
That's
So-
that's what happens.
There's
Luke
trolling
wants to know
everywhere.
how I can get you guys on Book Face instead of
Oh.
Facebook.
Face.
Yes.
What's Book Face?
He's not wanting to give it any time.
I know.
Go to Bill of Rights Network on Facebook. And
Mhm.
when you go there, you will find us live right now. You
I
can
know
also
he don't
find us
do
on.
Facebook though.
And why is he asking?
Who's that? Who's asking?
Luke?
Luke,
Oh,
And maybe
he put
someday
it backwards, so it's hard to tell. Luke
So-
can find a way to get around. Let me tell you.
So the thing is we may be able to find us on Twitter here in the future
Yeah.
See how
Once-
much it
once-
changes.
once we get to be free again and
I'm-
not stifled.
since you can't find us on YouTube, but yeah.
I'm just like I said. I'm amazed how much people's like their accounts are just absolutely growing. I get on my face or I refresh my Twitter page just about every, I would say probably 30 or 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm seeing at least one post saying, "Man, my follower count's gone up, my like count has gone up." Like,
Okay.
there's
Well, I'm going to
definitely
say
yeah, I've
something
heard a
here,
lot of
Charlie.
people already saying that.
You
yeah.
need to get a life, Charlie, if you're going to be updating your Twitter every 15 to 20 minutes.
When I have it open in a separate window right here, and I can just update it like that, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it.
Do you know I got off Twitter?
I mean, from what you've been talking about, I can kind of gather.
Yeah, I got off Twitter a few years ago. Well, right before right around
I've
the
never
same.
been on any of that crap.
Oh, when they blocked Donald
Never
Trump,
will.
Right.
I got off and I said, if I can't say what I want to say, then you're going. I mean, and you know me, I don't say that much.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just
when I say it, I say it.
Oh,
I don't waste the time to sit there and type it out because I can't.
yeah.
And
so-
ex-Facebook Dev made me a ghost account at the convention. Oh,
Who did?
yeah, you can find us on the Bill of Rights Network on Facebook.
So yeah, like I said, I got off Twitter and I haven't been back on there. Same as I stopped watching Fox News when they called the election, and they called it bogusly in advance.
Like it was their call.
Right.
Like it's anyone's call.
So Fox Business it is.
Like we left it up to journalists, we wouldn't even have an election.
All right.
They could just call it.
No, they would just give us a spoon.
Yeah.
Or they're little
Ridiculous.
dictators.
So, and I
That's
don't know
why I
how
like listening to Mark Alford that's running for Congress here in Missouri. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, he used to be an anchor man on Fox down there in Kansas City.
I remember when
And
he
he
started.
tried fighting it all the time down there.
Yeah.
He says, I'm tired of it. Journalists has got to learn
Yeah.
to tell the truth.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what it's about.
It's
That's what
He's
journalism
all
is about.
over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well, they've been bought out and freaking well, the networks have been bought out and telling what their reporters to report on, so they can't
Mhm.
report on facts. So then people have to rely on these other separate, non-conforming, non-network reporters, and that's where people get real news, right? Well, when you try to talk against those corporate, oh, that's just conspiracy theories, right? It's so stupid. I hate it. Like
Yeah, you
Project
know-
Veritas, I've
Right,
been following Project Veritas for a long time, and they've been finding and reporting on a lot of great stuff.
You know, Mike Thompson, the old weather guy off Fox, he's a state senator in Kansas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's on the radio quite a bit. Man, you ought to hear him talk about this climate change crap.
Yeah.
He goes, well, I'm going to give you guys the facts.
Okay.
And he does. Throws out all the facts, and he goes, yeah, that's
Yeah, and
the way it is,
CNN went
guys.
really downhill
Well, I mean,
here lately.
Yeah,
their
it's-
app
what
didn't
about-
we don't even
last a
watch.
month.
We don't even watch
Yeah.
local news. I
CNN
haven't.
Plus. God,
Their
that
app-
was
I
a
say-
show.
That app didn't last a month. It was like 30
Oh, I
days.
wish I could have bet
23
on that.
23
Yeah.
days.
I could have bet. I would have bet everything I had that was.
What is
gonna
this?
bomb.
Wallace. What's his name? What is his
Mike-
name? Mike
Mike
Wallace.
Wallace.
Yeah, he didn't like
Oh.
he left.
Yeah, he's-
Oh, his
left
dad was
who-
Mike Wallace.
Yeah, he left whoever he was on before
Yeah,
to
Fox.
go to CNN Plus.
yeah.
And then now he's out of a job.
Oh, well.
Good riddance.
Right. Well,
That's all I
Everybody
think.
went, we had enough of CNN. Why do we want plus more?
Right.
I-
When we can already get it
exactly.
for free.
yeah, you can get the garbage, the lies in the garbage for free. Why would you pay for the lies in the garbage?
Right. He was on
know,
Fox.
That was the
News
first
with
thing I
CNN
thought. I
Plus.
went, this doesn't make any sense. Why would
And-
people pay
well,
for it?
You
No
gotta-
one's watching it for free.
The best part too is they get caught in the lies in the garbage, and people still watch the lies in the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
What
You
do
know,
you think
I-
how bad MSNBC is going to be when Psaki
Oh,
goes
I know.
over there?
I could
Yeah,
I
I know.
couldn't stand Chris Wallace. You could tell he's a snake in the grass.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
watch him on Sunday mornings on Fox. And man, if he had a Republican on there, oh my God, he'd
Grilling
just
him.
grill him
Well, when he did the
and just,
what was
just
it?
jab him and just ugh.
When he
And I
hosted
thought,
the
what the
presidential,
hell? And then he pulled that crap on Trump.
yeah, during the presidential debate,
I
that was
said,
so
no, I'm done with
stupid.
you. I haven't watched him after that. I didn't like
That's
him
so
before.
stupid.
Didn't like him
Yeah.
before. I said, man, he's not like his dad. His dad was all right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
His dad was a journalist,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
why they're
exactly.
supposed
He's
to
a
be.
piece of crap.
Well, his dad actually was a reporter. He reported the facts and the news
Right.
and things like that. Unlike these, okay, let's go with journalism, is not necessarily fact based. It can
Mhm.
be opinion. All you got to do is write it down.
Write it down,
Absolutely.
and hopefully
You
they
guys
produce
do
it and
know-
put it out in publication.
You
Yep.
do know what CNN stands for, right?
Well, I know what a lot of it stands for.
Communist
but-
Nazi Network.
oh,
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
I've
okay.
called it for years.
I was going to say Communist News Network, but that works too.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand them. Really a lot of just corporate media.
I couldn't even tell you what
Listen to
channel it is.
yeah.
On
just-
our,
Even
have
some
no
people
idea.
on Fox I can't listen to either. So there's a few that are
We
actually
watch-
trying to get the truth out there.
we watch a lot of Fox Business, which, you know, I follow the business stuff anyway.
Oh, really?
And I like,
I don't know what his name is, but the guy that does the stocks and
oh,
all that
Stuart
kind of
Varney?
stuff. Yeah,
In
I
the
think so.
morning?
Charles
Sure.
Payne. Those are my two
Whoever
favorites.
the bald
Those
guy
guys
is,
are
I don't know
great.
what his name is.
Oh,
Maybe it's not Fox.
is it Charles Payne is bald. He's an African American guy with glasses.
Nope.
He's on at 1 o'clock, and then Stuart Varney's on in the mornings. I like Maria.
And
She's on before.
Stuart Varney's like 72,
Jeez.
Older guy.
but he's not bald. So
Hmm.
can't think of anybody else. So
Yeah,
I'm not thinking of Neil Cavuto.
he has hair.
Well, he's
Yeah.
also.
He's a faker.
Yeah, he's
So
not very good at anything he really does, but
Yeah, I just no thanks. But it'll be interesting to see if any I think there's already seeing change from being on Twitter, and I'm seeing people's account numbers go up. So hopefully it continues and people's accounts get reinstated, which some are being reinstated. So thank
Yeah, I know
goodness.
Barbara, one of our hosts on our network, she was blocked off and she signed back in, and now she can post everywhere on it.
Yeah, the amount of there was the only control they have is to cancel out the voices so they can push the agenda that they
Right.
have. Well, when you have free speech and people can talk about anything,
Right.
it kind of goes against their agenda, huh? So
Yeah.
I can see why a lot of people are freaking out, which, hey, that's good. It sucks to be on the wrong side of history, doesn't it?
It does.
But people don't realize that. They think they're the right ones.
they're on the wrong side, and they're also the minority. The majority of this country does not think the way they think.
Which is
Not even close.
Which is why I'm really happy to see people's like counts going up on Twitter, because that tells me there's a lot more people than what we were seeing before.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
we already knew that, but we're
we
seeing
knew
the
that.
physical evidence of it now.
Right.
I'm very happy about that.
Well, it's just like Facebook. There are algorithms and crap like that. When we first started doing shows on here, it was nothing to have 40, 50, 60, 80 people watching.
We don't even get that.
Now, we're sitting at 12 right now. Anything you get up close to 20, you're doing real good nowadays.
Well, our Facebook channel, like our own group or whatever, the people follow our page, it barely gets any traffic of our own followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you post any links, like if we make a post that has our YouTube link going to our YouTube channel, we'll maybe get like 5 people that see it within one day. It's ridiculous. Maybe more than that, but still, we have a bunch of followers. But the fact that these people aren't even seeing the post, it's not even being put on their walls or anything.
Right.
How long were you guys live the other night?
On Sunday night.
Sunday night. So we watched.
We were live for a while, but not the entire night. I would say maybe
3 hours.
Not even that long.
I think your video on there said 4 hours.
4?
Was it 4?
I think that's what
I
it
know.
said.
We watched.
Gosh,
We
I was
watched
so
well
tired.
over an hour and a half. Or so.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did do the. We put it down and walked away. I forgot, or we did something and walked away. We were so tired last night from the entire weekend. We actually cut the investigation a little bit short just because of how tired we were. And Dave had a 3-hour drive, which ended up not happening because some other things canceled, so he's able to stay one more day at my house and stuff. But yeah, it was.
Did you guys have a sleepover?
I guess you could say that. We just relaxed and partied and it was awesome. My roommates were both off, so we just kind of hung out and played like N64 all day. It was great. Not all day, but yeah, it was nice.
I'm just so glad you and your friends had a good play date.
Yeah, it was a great time. I had a blast. We had some drinks, had some fun. It was definitely a nice, relaxing recuperation day. My ankles were killing me walking on concrete floors all weekend, so that was fun. Let me tell you.
Right.
But
and Barbara,
I'm ready for the next
that's
one.
what Charles is talking about is Boogeyman Radio on YouTube.
Yes.
And everything. It plays at the same time your show does.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Central.
They start 7:30 and run until 9:30.
We're going to be talking about basically just recapping the weekend. We don't have any videos or anything ready to go yet for the vlog of our time at McIntyre, but obviously that'll hopefully come within the next week or two. So we'll see what we could do there as far as that goes. But yeah, tonight is going to be a really easy, laid back show. Pretty much talking about what we talked about with Comic-Con and some other things. And it's going to be a good night. I'm excited.
That's good. I'm glad. And like I said, I saw some of the pictures. I saw the picture with Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
And I was like, there was
Dave's.
There was a picture of them two together.
Oh, okay. I didn't. You didn't show me that.
So,
one.
fun fact: I paid for Ralph Macchio, and it was just going to be me, because the picture with Ralph Macchio or a signature, so one or the other, was $80.
What?
Yeah, it was $80 to take a picture or $80 to get a signature. So which one did I want to do? I'd rather do a picture because that lasts longer, right?
Right.
Well, he's not doing like up close like fan selfies. He's like across the table because COVID. So we just did our thing. So I wasn't too worried about it. He's still in the picture. So while I was in line, I was like, my phone camera sucks. So I looked over at Dave before he left. I was like, hey, I know your phone's great. Can you please wait in line with me so we can get a good picture with Ralph Macchio? He's like, yeah, sure thing. So we get up there, and we find out that you can actually do $80 for the two of us in one picture. And I was like, dude, just get up there. Whatever. Get up there. We'll take a picture with Ralph Macchio. So we handed the phone to some lady assistant, whoever it was. She took our picture. So Dave got a free picture with Ralph Macchio.
Well, like I said, I really like him. And did you know he's 60 years old?
Are you kidding? That cost $80.
A selfie was $80. That's not a professional picture like what she got with Cusack. Wow. I'm sure that's even more. But yeah.
Yeah, you two know what to charge now, don't you?
Yeah. Exactly.
I just think it's ridiculous.
I think it is too, but that's how they make their money because he
hasn't done a movie in when?
They get
he's got the TV show.
He's got a show.
He's got like 3, almost 4 seasons of a TV show.
Oh, show?
Oh, and it's really actually...
It's very popular. It's a really good show.
I was going to say, does anyone even know who he is?
Oh, yeah. He had the biggest line at the con. Like, when you look at Celebrity Row, if you see all the zigzags, like the lines of how big the line is...
Who else was there? I'll see if I know anyone.
Oh, God. Okay, so... Sergeant Slaughter, Booker T.
Wait a minute, who?
Sergeant Slaughter was a wrestler. He was an older wrestler.
I have no idea.
Booker T. Jerry Lawler was there.
Like a baseball player.
That's okay. That's okay.
A wrestler. I'm
listing off people.
A baseball player, I couldn't name one.
Murray from Impractical Jokers was there.
Okay, now he's seen that. You didn't know his name though.
Yeah.
You would have known. So. She canceled, but Elvira was going to be there.
Oh, now
that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else you might have known. That might have been me, but
which a lot of people may not know her.
Which I'm currently blanking, but yeah, there was a pretty good amount of people there. I'm just trying to think of
I will say that I met Jerry Lawler back in 1982.
Yeah. Zach,
when pictures were free.
Yeah, exactly. Zach from Saved by the Bell, the guy who played Zach in Saved by the Bell, he was there. Trying to think who else, but there was a lot of voice actors too. A lot of people like a lot of people in the nerd geek thing right now love anime voice actors. So there was a lot of voice actors there as well, which people I have no idea, but it was still really cool. And then there were some people, like I said, that was cool to meet. But Ralph Macchio was the only one that I was really excited to see. But the thing is, his line was really long.
Joey Fatone?
Joey Fatone was there.
From NSYNC.
From there, from NSYNC.
Oh.
He's one of the guys from NSYNC.
Like I said, you know him. I'm looking at the list now.
Phil Lamar from Mad TV, he was on there. He was also on Justice League. He does voice acting.
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah. Kevin Conroy, he does the voice of Batman in the animated series. He was gonna be there, but he canceled. I'm trying to think who else. Several people, but yeah, it was a good con. I really enjoyed myself.
Jerry Lawler looked good in the picture.
Yeah, we actually passed him on the floor. He looked great for his age.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
He's got to be late 60s, early 70s.
He's got to be. Actually, he's got to be older than that because I was only 16 when I met him.
Yeah.
And
mid-70s, late 70s.
He's got to be. I don't know. But
he's got to be late 70s, early 80s.
He used to dress.
Who knew? Steroids are good for you.
Right.
He used to dress up. He was the king, Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
He used to dress up like a king and get into the wrestling matches out there in Memphis. And
then he was the promoter and leader of a certain one, manager.
Well, actually, that was Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart.
Yeah,
And Jimmy Hart's son is the one that died here at Kemper Arena.
right.
I know it's
The
sad.
Hitman
isn't
Hart, Brett the
Yeah.
Hitman. No, it wasn't Brett the Hitman Hart. What was
it?
it?
No,
It was one of the. Yeah, it was Brett the Hitman Hart.
that,
It was
that
something
died.
the Hitman Hart.
Nah,
Now you got me.
I don't think it was Brett.
The thing
Not
is,
Brad.
I think it was Jimmy Hart's nephew.
Right.
Um,
Oh, maybe not.
Kemper. Here we go. Like I said, I remember the sad part is that Ron's not into wrestling. I'm not into wrestling, but my ex-husband was, and so I knew
Owen
all this
Hart.
shit.
Owen Hart.
Owen. Yeah.
And you know
He was
what?
coming down
Maybe
on the
that's where they
tables
want to
and
build
fell.
this new stadium, the haunted Kemper Arena.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Was it in Kemper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, we live down in Kansas City, Missouri. Well, we live not far from where you live now. So May
Back
15th,
then, at that time, they
1999.
were all coming out of the ceilings on cables and
Oh.
flying around and coming down to the ring. He
He was
came out
30
on a cable. Something slipped, and he fell
Yeah, he was only
Like
34
40
years
some
old.
feet.
So let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 34 years old, falling from the rafters.
Yep.
That's sad.
He went way up there and did
Yeah,
something
he
he shouldn't
did.
have done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
They paid more money.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, a lot of those wrestling things, I swear, those people, I don't think they got paid what they were worth. For the amount of work that was put involved in all that stuff. I just don't think that they actually saw the money from it.
Jump off of a 14, 16-foot top of a cage down and land on one of these tables on your back.
I mean, I know a lot
That's
of the
going to
stuff,
hurt like hell no matter what you did.
Yeah. Absolutely.
even if it's fake, it's gonna
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
To me, jumping from the top rope, barely landing on someone's body looks like it hurts.
Well, yeah, especially when they're several hundred pounds heavier than you
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah, I remember back. I saw Andre the Giant wrestle in
wow.
person,
I've met him in person at a bar.
and I saw there was this big African guy that was huge back
Oh,
then, and he was brought in by Jerry Lawler,
yeah.
the Memphis
Had the
Wrestling.
bone and all that too, didn't he? Bone in the nose type thing.
No, that wasn't him. But of course, then you add in the other guy that you were talking about. He was Atlanta wrestling. He was.
I met them all back when Bulldog Bob Brown was wrestling and Casey Myers.
It's strange how much of this stuff was regional, though.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for cable, we wouldn't have known anything about the ones in Atlanta
Yeah.
that are big now.
Well,
like Ric Flair.
Right.
So you got to think, if it wasn't for Vince McMahon, who revolutionized the entire wrestling industry, like turned it into more entertainment than actual wrestling.
Well, that was, I remember when that happened, but I mean, it was very popular in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Way before you were even a dream, Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well, in the
I mean,
'60s, in St. Joe, Missouri, up here on
Yeah,
Channel
it's on local
2,
TV.
10:30 at night, you had wrestling on Saturday nights,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And it was
And
like
I mean,
that
it
everywhere.
was all, big, heavy guys. There was no muscle built, like this. It's just like we'd watch that on Saturday night. You'd see the guys up there. Casey Myers, that was one of the wrestlers and then became the organizer and everything, owned dealerships up in St. Joe, right? So it was nothing to see him on a commercial. But see the wrestlers out anywhere, no, because they were traveling here and there. I'm 6 years old, small school in Kingston.
Where's
In my class, there's all girls,
Okay.
right, except for me.
Yes.
I got invited to a birthday party out at one of the girls' house
Yeah.
out here in the country. So mom takes me out there. I walk in. The mother felt sorry for me right off the bat. All these girls, and I'm the only boy. She goes, my husband will be home from work in a little while. He'll do something with you, and then he's got to go to his other job. I went, okay. Anyway, the guy came in. He'd been out working and stuff. Said hi. Went in, took a shower, cleaned up, and come out right in Indian gear and a full head wrap. And I looked up and went, Chief Wahoo from wrestling. And he goes, yeah, you watch? And I went, yeah, as soon as I get done here, I'm going to Papa's house tonight so we can watch. But it was Chief Wahoo McDaniels.
Huh.
Was
Yeah,
her
it's
dad.
one of those, like I said, it's one of those things that regionally we all had something because my dad loved wrestling. So
Mhm.
needless to say, it wasn't a huge stretch. And I mean, we watched wrestling in Virginia. We watched it in New Jersey. We watched it in Maryland. We watched it in West Virginia. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I knew all these different wrestlers' names. So when I moved to Blytheville, Arkansas, when I first got married, it was like, okay, I can do this. I didn't care for it, but it was just part of my upbringing. So I knew it. But I mean, but
What
each place
changed
had its own.
wrestling is when Hulk Hogan came into the picture.
That did popularize it a
That
lot.
changed everything. This man came from lifting weights and had 19-inch pythons, and stuff like that, and had the tan and everything, and ripping shirts off. That then, there she is. There's the pretty girl.
My gosh, she's big.
Oh yeah, she is.
She's going to be 1 year
Hi.
old in 3 days.
Yep. 3 days on Friday.
Oh,
She gives 5.
look at the smile. Yeah.
You're on TV.
Hi.
Who are
Say
these
hi.
crazy people?
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. You can do it. Everybody knows that you can wave.
Hi. Do this.
Actually, she does it like this.
Yeah. But I found out with babies when they're watching you and you go like this or like that. If
Yeah.
you turn it around and go like this, that's what they see when they're out in front of them.
When she wants me to come to her, she does this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She looks a lot like Leah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't she though?
So much like
Little Leah.
Yeah, she really
Mhm.
does.
You're
Holy cow.
teething? Where's
Yes.
your pie?
It's
She's in a good mood.
She just woke up. They're taking Ruby to the skate park
Oh.
Where at?
over in Paola.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Thank God it wasn't downtown.
Good.
So-
Right.
They love to go downtown.
They already heard the story. So
And that's where I was at this entire weekend. Besides, I mean, I guess Sunday mostly.
well, you don't really live. You're not horribly far away like it is from
I'm
down
like,
here.
yeah, I'm like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and on Saturday it's usually not that bad to get up there. So
True. Very true. Unless it's Planet Comic Con and then downtown traffic sucks.
well, I mean, you had a lot of places to eat. Just had to
Yeah,
go
which
about 5 blocks.
didn't eat any places. We ate beforehand and then we usually had something there, which is just crazy expensive.
Oh, you
And
want to get down?
we went elsewhere afterwards. But I think next time I'm going to try more nightlife stuff. But McAteer was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the only thing I was, like I said, the only thing I was concerned about for you guys was the distillery over there making noise, and I hope that there was no.
I mean, there was noise, but it's
Explosion.
easy to tell. No, there wasn't any. There wasn't any like, oh my gosh, what was like, you know. But
Yeah, there are
it was
times-
easy.
Depending upon the way the wind's blowing, you can smell what they're
Right.
mashing in,
Okay.
Right.
and it's not the best, to be
I didn't
honest.
smell. Yeah, I didn't smell any odd smells. I didn't even smell like. So I know there's been a few times that people have smelled perfume or some sweeter smells there, but I never smelled any. Well, actually, that's not true. In the attic, honestly,
You
I
know
had
what-
some really weird burnt smells. It was just
Well,
weird.
that could be from the guys who used to live there.
Yeah.
So one of the guys, Keith Garrity, used to
Yeah.
make these beautiful paper mache
Oh, he did really
pumpkins and
Yeah.
gargoyles and
They
all
are-
this stuff, and they were weatherproof. And so he said he
good.
did.
We get some pictures. We have.
I have
some
pictures of him.
It's neat.
He did a
Okay.
great job. So he was a artsy fartsy kind of guy.
Yeah.
So he did all kinds of stuff like that, creating stuff with wood burning and all that.
Cool.
The entire attic was filled with these
That's why.
with all of these things. And I may have pictures on my phone.
That attic
from
is
when we filmed.
massive too.
Well, the thing is since nobody lives there now, there's not stuff in it like it was when I was there.
Right. There's some stuff, but not a lot. It's mostly just like random chairs, a couple skeletons, and
right. And that's because she's using it as a venue where when the Garrity's lived there, if they opened it up, it was a walkthrough.
Oh, okay.
The few times that they did open it up when we were up there, 2 times in 7 years did they open it up.
Wow.
And so when I contacted them, they were in the process of trying to sell it.
Oh.
And they were all willing to be on film for the movie The Deep Darkness.
Yeah.
So both brothers and the sister
Paranormal discovered whales.
So
awesome.
So the 2 brothers and the sister were all there during that.
Right.
And one of the things that they did not know was that their fireplaces had high EMF.
Oh, wow.
You want to know why?
Curious.
Uranium tile.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that people need to know when you go there. If you put an EMF detector near the fireplaces, the tile is going to be reactive. And it was very common in the time that house was built to utilize whatever they had.
Yeah,
Uranium was part of it. And one of the other things is the house is built on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Wrong side of town.
Yeah.
Because the Irish people were treated like crap.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of stories about the house. From when we were tour guides, we used to have to spew the whatever they told us to say. And some of the stuff they told us to say, of course, we now know is not factual, not based in fact. It's based on somebody going, this sounds good.
Yeah.
Like, this was the first cemetery in town. No, it wasn't.
No.
Things like that. But the McIntyre Villa, Goldie did live there.
Yeah.
Does she haunt the house? Don't know. I will tell you, I heard somebody running up and down the back stairs.
The one that the servant quarter stairs, the one in the back of the house.
Yeah, the ones that go all the way up to the attic.
Gotcha.
So I heard.
Did you go up to the attic?
Oh yeah.
And so
few times.
I heard that while they were filming, but of course all I could go is, all I did was, I pointed at the stairs, but we kind of couldn't talk at the time because they were filming.
Yeah.
So all I could do was point, and so I walked down there to listen, but it sounded like somebody running up and down the stairs.
Wow.
And I have to go with it was either a child or somebody with small feet, probably possibly a woman, but there's no proof of any. I don't remember. I mean, I know John McIntyre. I know somebody died there. I forgot who. I have not done the research on it.
So the lady that owns it now, her name's escaping me, and I hate
Stephanie O'Reilly.
Stephanie. She said that there was like 8 confirmed deaths in the house.
Right. And see, I haven't done my research on that house.
Yeah.
The base to it? Or? Okay.
So because I have not investigated there, I won't.
Yeah.
I've only been in the house. I only know the stories that we were supposed to tell on the trolley.
I definitely recommend this location. It's something. So she's taken a great care of this place. Like,
well, it wasn't in bad shape.
No, it was in good shape before.
Okay, I get that, but what Data's told me is when it used to be like before, and then what it looks like now is a lot better than what it was.
Well, you know why? Like I said, a family lived there.
Yeah.
And they had all their stuff in there, and then their parents died, and the boys and the daughter needed to get rid of the house, and one of the boys lived there during that time. But you figure she's only like the 5th owner.
Yeah.
Of the villa.
Going to that place, and I feel like stepping into each room, I go back in time to that period in the room. Now there was one room where it was like there was a kitchenette with like a coffee maker and stuff. I'm like,
in the back.
No, it was upstairs. It was
on the
second
back
floor.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically It's the house, the side of the street that's on Kansas.
I don't know. I just
It's
know it was one of the
13th.
second floors on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and that's Kansas Street that goes this way, and the one that's right here is 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Joe used to live at 15th, so
Okay.
and the sign says 13th in Kansas if you're right there.
Oh, okay.
And so it's in the back part, and that was up there for when when Goldie lived there,
Yeah.
and she needed nursing assistance, and they also used it when their parents were there.
I got
So
most of the time we were there, anything weird that happened to me, or not just to me, but anything.
well, I heard you say you had the spider web effect.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about that, but I will say for us, when we investigated there, most of the activity was the first floor or a couple weird, like there was some weird instances on the basement, but it just seemed like that first floor was very interesting. We didn't get anything in the attic. The attic felt very uneasy, I will say. The attic just felt really weird once you turn off the lights and then the street lights come in and stuff. But yeah, the attic was weird. The second floor wasn't really a whole like active, but we didn't get to spend as much time because we were trying to be in the place where most activity was happening. Well, that was the first floor, so we just stayed in the first floor most of the time.
How about the basement? You were in there a while.
Yeah, so this is what I was going to talk about. So we didn't we documented it, but we weren't recording or anything when this is happening because we were just doing a walkthrough. Dave, they were just showing me around the place and like showing me what's up. So we go to walk up to the attic, and when you pass by, which are going to that back staircase, right? When you go to that back staircase, as soon as I got into the hallway through the kitchen, just past the kitchen, right before I got to the staircase, I had this weird spider web feeling on the back of my arm.
Huh.
And I checked because I was thinking, okay, maybe it was one of my long
Right.
hairs. Like I thought it was a hair, like it fell down and got my arm or something. No, I pulled
It
on.
feels
hair.
like a spider web, like
Yeah,
you did the spider
exactly.
web.
That's what it
feeling.
felt like. So it felt that. I was like, okay, that was weird. So then we go up to the attic. Nothing's going on. Nothing's weird up there. We're just up there. We come back downstairs on that first floor, and as soon as Dave opens the basement door, he gets a massive spider web that hits his arm. And we're thinking like, okay, that was like I put my arm immediately up there just to try to see it. Like as soon as he says something, I put it up
Right.
there. I don't feel anything.
Yep.
He like feels around to actually pull a spider web off. He didn't feel anything. He didn't feel like a spider web or anything.
Right.
So we had something weird happen, and then we get going down the steps, and as soon as he hits that first step into the basement, he's like, "Oh, it's really heavy down here," and so he had a really weird feeling down in the basement. And then we went immediately to our right to the farthest room on the right hand side, and in the middle of the room was just like this weird cold spot, webby energy feeling. And he felt it first. He's like, "Hey, come check this out." So I'm like feeling around kind of in the middle part of this room, and I don't feel anything necessarily until I get up to the ceiling, and it felt like my hand, like half of my hand, was I had like an electric shock through it.
Yeah.
It just felt like a huge. What I was telling Dave seemed like it would be like a static electronic feeling, electric feeling, I should say. So you know those like metal devices that you would give to people and they push a button and it would send like a weird shockwave.
Yeah, I heard you saying that.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, but not as intense. And I've never felt anything like that in just air before. So yeah, I reached up and I would say it hit about half my hand, and I just immediately pull my hand like from the ceiling. I'm like, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And later on, I was watching a video. And in that video, Stephanie says that somebody saw a figure crawling on the ceiling in the basement.
So my question
really?
is
Yes.
who is that? Who is that somebody? Are they prone to making stuff up? See,
I don't know.
that's I'm skeptical, and I mean I believe in the paranormal.
No, I get it.
But I'm skeptical enough to go.
Absolutely.
Are people
Absolutely.
sometimes saying stuff to get the attention?
Absolutely. Now, I don't know the evidence of if she saw it, if they saw it, or who saw the thing, right? Obviously. But the fact that I was putting my hand up to the ceiling and I was almost to the ceiling and I felt some sort of electric current, not just touching air.
Right.
And then somebody saw something crawling on the ceiling. That tells me that there could be something going on there.
Did you use a light to look at the ceiling to see if there was any
We could see the light. The
unshielded-
light was on,
Okay, well, I meant,
but not the light above me. No, there was no.
like I said, was there?
There was a light fixture. There was a light fixture. But after that electronic feeling happened, I checked all around that whole light fixture. I didn't feel anything else.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, we had a lot of rain over the weekend.
Okay. Yeah.
Was there any places where water came through the limestone
No.
basement?
No. It was bone dry.
Because I know that there's limestone in the basement.
The only area where I thought that I could see maybe water was right next to the water heater.
Which would make sense. So, was the basement cinder block inside?
It was dirt and bricks.
Okay, because I know that there was.
I don't think it was cinder block. I think it was actual old brick floor. And then I wasn't 100% sure. I'm trying to remember.
I'm gonna have to
what
look at the
siding
video
was.
again.
But
But I know that part of that basement at one time was limestone.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was I've never felt static electricity go through my hand like that. It
Yeah.
was the
I've had
weirdest
that. I've
feeling.
had that happen at Sally House in the basement.
I'd never felt anything like that as far as my feelings around of things on investigations. That was the first time that I could say that I felt like I touched just straight energy in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
It was
it's a weird feeling,
Yeah.
Sometimes,
especially if you're not expecting it.
Yeah,
at all.
it was a complete shock through my hand. It wasn't it hurt shock, but it was there was something buzzing through my fingertips. And it was
Yeah.
weird.
see if you
So,
did that at the Sally House and you were doing that and you got that feeling,
Yeah.
you're going, shit, I got.
Yeah, I got
One
ghost
by a
on me or
wasp.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
really-
too. Well, then I was thinking, okay, maybe it was a spider bite, right? Maybe I was, because there's a bunch of spiders down there. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I touched a spider, but then I was looking all over my hand. I didn't see any kind of
Right.
There's
bruising,
enough-
bite marks, nothing.
Well, the thing is, there's enough movement in that house
Yeah,
to keep the spider webs at a minimum.
yeah, and that's how it was. So when we would feel spider webs and there wouldn't be anything there, we were like, okay, that's weird.
So, needless to say, I've never been in the basement there.
No.
I definitely recommend it. It's creepy.
So-
Yeah, we will.
So when
in a
we
couple weeks.
and when we filmed, we were in all the rooms downstairs,
In the
we
first
went
In
floor.
the attic.
and we were in the attic. On the second floor, where the bedrooms are, the rooms. Okay, so if you're facing
Okay, start at the staircase.
at the front staircase, the ornate one.
Yeah, there's a
When you
room
come up the
here.
stairs, there's a room there. They started filming in there, and all those rooms are attached.
Yes.
So they went in there. I did not go in there. I stayed in the
Okay.
hallway. The rooms on the other side were closed because that's where the people were living.
Okay.
So we never
Yeah.
got to see inside those rooms.
Okay.
So this is going to be,
That's going to be an experience for you.
it is. And like I said, I only know the bogus stories where they say, oh, there was a time that the light came on in the turret and there's no
So-
electricity up there.
I don't know.
There is electricity up there,
Yeah, there's
according to the
electricity up there.
Garrity's.
There
So
is
they
definitely
said
electricity
that
in
was
the
not
attic.
true. That at the piano, Goldie likes to play with women's hair.
See,
and-
now I will say that the Goldie's chair is in one room and the piano's in the other room.
Right.
So,
Right. But the thing is Goldie was a musician.
see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of the details about this place, Stephanie didn't say. Like, she didn't need to say anything because
No.
I'd watched some of Dave's. Like, I'd watched Dave's video and then a couple other videos, so I kind of knew about some of the stuff.
You know,
But
I can't watch any of those until I go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't want to watch too much stuff because I wanted to experience things.
Right.
You didn't want to be predisposed.
Exactly. So when Dave, like, for example, we were in the basement another time of the night doing an investigation. We went to that same room and we did catch some stuff, which I can't wait for everybody to see.
Right.
We were like, well, let's go to he was like, let's go to a different room and it'll be for a reason. I'm like, okay, great. Like, this sounds like obviously something happens in this room. I don't know what, but whatever. We went into that room. Nothing happened the entire night that we were in there. So, or the entire time that we were in there. And he still hasn't told me why we went into this room. So I have no idea. But I
Well-
will say, go ahead.
Well, sometimes what people say
Yeah.
happens in these areas is unique to them.
Yes. I agree.
And again, did it really happen, or was
Yeah.
it their
Well,
mind?
and as we know as investigators, sometimes the same things that happen or happens to one person doesn't happen to other people.
No, that's
Right,
right.
like I said, it's
Nothing is
completely unique.
guaranteed. Exactly.
No, it's
So
not.
the story that I told you guys before the show,
Mhm.
I'm curious how many other people have experienced that. If anybody else has experienced that. But
True.
I'm
Now I wish we had
Very
taped
excited.
that because now I've already forgotten it.
I can tell you after
Well,
the show. It's fine.
It's
I'll tell you
okay.
after the
You
show.
can find it.
No,
This-
there was a specific occurrence that happened to me that I can't talk about because I have like visual footage of it happening.
And
Oh.
and
And we're
he
trying to
wants
save it for
Oh yeah, now I
the vlog.
remember. I
Yeah,
remember.
Right.
so I can't say what it was.
You
Now
can't talk
the whole electricity thing, that was just a personal experience that I
Right,
couldn't
right.
record.
But you
Yeah,
did
you-
that.
story.
But you did that on
You can't
camera.
record that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like I
Right.
said, I heard you say that, and I looked
Yes.
at Ron and I go, "You've had that experience."
Yeah,
And
exactly. But like I said, we've had some other things happen. This house is very unique. And next time I go, I want to spend more time on the second floor in the attic. But that first floor was it just felt like it was just
well,
just
you
things
know what?
kept
There's
happening.
still tickets available for the 14th
Yeah. Okay.
with Cindy Kaza and Sarah Lemos. And
I got to figure out. So May is a big month for us at my work.
I know
gotta
it
figure
is.
out- Make sure there's nothing happening. But
It's Mother's Day weekend, so you won't be able to do it most likely.
Yeah, Mother's Day's a big day for us.
I
Isn't
know.
that Saturday?
It's that
Yeah,
Saturday
yeah.
night,
Yeah,
7:00
I can't do it.
or
I gotta-
10 o'clock.
I have to be at work Sunday, but either way,
It's only
I
a
will
three-
get. I
it's
will
only-
definitely get a chance to get back.
It's 3 hours. You could do it.
It's just an hour or an hour and a half from Kansas City, technically.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't
Right.
know that.
yeah. From Bartle Hall, it took Dave and I an hour and like 20 to 30 minutes to go from Bartle
Right.
Hall.
You know, it
to
takes us
McAteer.
90 minutes to get there from here.
That's
Yeah,
an hour and a
that's
half.
crazy.
And remember, I used to do it how many times a month?
Plenty.
A lot.
So,
But I mean, like I said, I was very thankful for Stephanie. She was very nice. She explained some things. She left up to Dave to explain a lot of other stuff. This
Well, you
place
didn't
has
see
an
where she
obviously.
was.
No, I don't.
Stephanie was at the Garnett House on Friday
Oh
night.
yeah, she talked to Dave about some stuff that had happened there, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, we still got to
Yeah.
do Garnett too. With Dave.
Yes, I
Right.
highly recommend Garnett too. Like there was very interesting things that had happened there as well, but
Mm.
nothing. I would say that was.
And that,
I
that
felt
doesn't
like
have to be a
this house was
weekend.
more active. Honestly.
Yeah, Garnett. That doesn't have to be on a weekend or nothing either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
If it's just us.
yeah. I had more weird
40
things
minutes
happen.
from us, and I could
Yeah.
take off the next day if I had to.
Yeah, that'd
Show
be.
the angel.
If I could do that, I would. I think with me taking this vacation time, I'm sure they're gonna be like, all right, no more time off until the end of summer.
You show.
Right. Right.
We'll see what happens though. It'll be a good. It'll be
Well,
a
we're
good summer. I have a feeling.
we're so short of people that when I went on vacation for a week, I had nobody covered for me. I just didn't have anyone to do it.
Yeah, that's.
He took
just
his phone
how
and
it
kept
is.
trying to put machines back
So
in
when
service.
I said,
Yeah.
I told my boss, I said, I'm probably not, the rest of the year, I'm probably going to take one more week. But I said the rest of my vacation will probably be, like a Thursday, Friday, or
Yeah.
Mondays off. And he goes, oh, thank God.
Not during the work week.
Well,
It's during the work, like I said, I'll be taking some Fridays and
On a
some
slower-
Mondays off.
putting
Yeah.
putting different days together. to
That
get
way
extra
they don't
time.
have to worry about, covering for me because
That's-
I'm taking a day here and there. He
Yeah,
goes,
that's pretty much
"Hey,
how I've been doing too.
perfect.
That's how I'm
Right.
gonna have to do it. But except October, I am taking a good time off in October to get another paranormal show in October.
Right.
So,
Well, that's
Paranormal
probably
Con, I
when
should
we'll
say.
take
Well,
a week
we're
off.
taking a paranormal show in October too.
Yeah, look at that.
I probably
We got-
what is it, the 7th and 8th of October
We got the
in
I believe
Joplin?
so.
Joplin.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
that's
2 weeks. We got McIntyre. And what next? Well, in June, I got
hope-
in Oklahoma.
How many people are going to that event? Do you know?
the one
The
in
2 weeks. 2 weeks. McIntyre.
there she goes.
There she goes.
They're keeping it like at 20.
20. Okay.
So,
It was just Dave and I. So
no. Well, David is on the overnight on Friday night.
Yeah.
And he says he's going to be there Saturday night. And Saturday night
Good girl.
is just 3-hour
Good girl.
investigations.
yeah,
And,
I'll hold it.
I got invited because I'm friends with Katie and Katie.
yeah.
Right.
and they just sent me a ticket and said for you and your special guest. And I was like, okay. And I thought it was nice to be invited.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm so sorry. If I had known you knew Dave, that we would put you guys together on Friday night. And I said, no, I'm good.
I said, we don't want to be with Dave.
Don't have to be with him all the time.
I mean, him and Jack just have too good of a time together.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, it's a joke, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is. I'm grateful to be invited, and that's it. So I'm not gonna go, oh, I'm pissed because I didn't get in with Dave.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're gonna be meeting Jessica as well. She's gonna be there.
Good.
The Mermaid Medium.
Yes.
And it's all for a good cause. So that's what's important. That's the reason why Cindy Cause is coming out, is to help out because it's a good cause. And Sarah Lemos, actually, Sarah was going to be on my show when I had them scheduled, not last night, but the time before that. Sarah was going to come on and talk for a little bit about the new show that she's on,
Right.
as well as this event, the classes that she's putting on up there at the villa. So I thought that was going to be fun. That's really cool. And so I was really disappointed that now I've had to cancel them for a third time.
Right.
And now I'm looking like the flake, as opposed to the people who usually flake on me.
Yeah, I'm going to try something before we end the show here. You know how we always did the Echo Box and Necrophonics with a different camera? Okay, let's see how this sounds bringing this up. Okay, just a second.
What is this? Necrophonic. Okay.
Is this on your laptop?
Yeah, this is on my computer.
Yep.
Now listen, here we go. Can you hear it?
Nope.
Did you press the include audio?
Yeah, I did.
Hear nothing.
You can't hear nothing
either.
Okay. Let me try something here.
Keep wanting to grab my.
Yeah, she likes her cup. Oh, here, how about this one?
Oh, when it shows on my window, it won't let me add audio.
Sometimes the window is. Are you using
an external app?
There, yeah, it's called the one I have on my phone or on my computer is like Blue.
Okay, let me try something else here, real quick. I got it playing in my headset. Oh,
that's probably the reason why we can't hear it.
Usually, when you press share, is it screen share? Is that what you're pressing?
Yeah.
And then that bottom left says share system audio.
I know, but if you go to your window in the middle of that, it doesn't have that option.
Oh, she unplugged it.
Okay, let me see here.
I would press the I would go ahead and press the share system audio.
It could be because you have a headset on.
I did on the very beginning. What I did here. Okay,
it's probably your headset.
Well, I know I've got a good idea, and I gotta see when you go up, and you know all about this too, Charles.
Yeah.
Your entire screen, your window, and then whatever system you're using, right?
Yeah.
Like I use Brave for it. It has share audio down in the bottom. If you go to the middle one that says window, it does not have the share audio.
Do you still have the share audio on the entire system or the entire screen? Do you have that clicked too?
Yes.
Okay. Then
I
don't know why it's not sounding.
You know what? After the show, let's try unplugging your headset and see if we can hear it.
I've got it on both of them.
You probably could.
Okay, let's see here.
Because I know entire screen and Chrome tab, they both have the share the audio.
Right. Mine on Windows doesn't.
Yeah, Windows doesn't for some reason.
I know.
It might be a setting you have to go through with that specific
It does, and
app.
I know exactly what it is. So we'll try it. I'll have it set up for next week.
Are you using BlueStacks?
Yes.
Okay, and there may be some setting in BlueStacks.
There is. There's a setting in BlueStacks where you set it up. I had it set up on my Realtek and set it through the Yeti microphone and audio.
Yeah.
good.
So
So
I-
I bet
like I
that's
said-
where I got to set it through. But
On
anyway,
my-
I've got Necrophonics and I have Echo Box 3 available on there now too.
and that's what I have on my computer. That
Blue
because I
Stack.
wanted to use my computer
Oh.
at one point because I wanted to prove, hey, I have no internet. You can
Right,
see it obviously on your phone. It's sometimes hard to tell that if you have internet or not.
right.
So,
Right.
and my phone, and of course we all know I have the mouse fart mic on there,
Yeah.
so it gets every damn thing.
Oh, I know. This one does too.
Yeah.
And
Well, this is
everything
just
is-
built into the computer though. That's
Right.
the thing. Mine's
Well, mine that's built into the computer does the exact same thing.
yeah, mine is just you can hear everything.
I'll have it all set up for next week. Because I know sometimes hooking it up with a different camera and a different mic, it doesn't come through as loud. It was coming through crystal clear through here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Real
Well-
good.
We got 5 minutes left.
Charles, tell everybody where they can find you at.
All right. Well, you could find me on the so for communication purposes, you can find me on Facebook. Just look up my name. I'm just Charles Fort at Facebook, and I'm also on Twitter. Same thing. Instagram, same thing. But for our show, which is Boogeyman Radio, on YouTube is where we'll have our podcast and some other videos as well. But it's just BOOGEYMAN Radio. And that's how you spell it. Just we wanted to go a little different, and I like it that way. So you can find us there. Our shows every Tuesday, 8 p.m. And we have all sorts of different topics, not just paranormal, but mystery as well, and whatever we're
Right.
feeling, you know. Like, shoot, we've done the game show too, so
Yeah,
it's been fun doing that as well. I can't wait to do it again. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
right.
And
And you got a
from
Patreon channel too, right?
Yeah, we do have a Patreon. It's what is it? Same thing, Boogeyman Patreon /Boogeyman Radio.
and if you have the app, you can sign up and you can get notified when they go
Yeah.
live.
Exactly.
Right.
So other than that, and their pricing is not bad.
No, he actually lowered the prices too. It's not as
I think it's what
expensive as it was.
$249.
Yeah, it's less now. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
well,
really?
it was more than that.
Or
before.
sorry, it's less than what the normal price was. I was finishing my sentence.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
cheap.
$249.
Yeah.
So
And that's just
not
to help
horrible.
get us to other locations, keep the what is it called? Keep the because we use
It's to pay for Dave to get a
StreamYard.
shower every now and then.
well that and StreamYard. We got to be able to pay for StreamYard too.
And
Exactly.
Comic Con picture.
StreamYard gets expensive.
It does get expensive. We're trying to figure out whether we're going to go through Spreaker or Podbean or whoever else to do just audio too. So we're trying to figure that out as well. But
well, it's because if you can do that, then you can get it streamed in more places.
How much
yeah,
is that
exactly?
Spreaker?
There's different levels of
Yeah.
of membership. I'm
It
not
depends
sure
on
what
how
they
many
are.
places you want to stream for StreamYard as well as Spreaker.
How many places?
Right.
Well, you
Uh,
could do like YouTube,
Oh, yeah,
Twitch,
that's what I
Facebook.
thought. Yeah.
I want to be on Rumble.
Rumble. I do want to be on Rumble as well. I would love to get on Rumble.
Right.
That's where
So,
a lot of
and I
people
guess
are
now
at.
we get to find out if
So
we
how
can
much
make it
is
on
it
Twitter.
if you want to
Yeah,
reach
absolutely.
like 2 of them?
2 places. It might
Yeah.
be. Shoot, I don't know.
It's $25.
I don't know the prices.
Yeah.
It's 25.
That's not bad.
For that's through StreamYard. It's 25.
Right.
I don't know what it is. For,
20, well, to get to 3 locations is 25 or free.
Uh,
5 locations is 25. 8 locations is $50 a month, which what
Yeah.
we do.
and then what is it yearly?
That's
Yearly, I can buy StreamYard for the professional deal with 8 locations for $640.
if I wanted to go with the basic, which is the on-air talent for Spreaker, which has no basic statistics, which we'll probably do the $20 a month one, but it's you can go to multiple places: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch, I'm sure. But yeah, there's a bunch of places you can.
The main
stream
thing
to.
is that way you can just upload what you've already done. Since it already goes to YouTube, you should be able to take your YouTube recording and just post
Yeah.
it up in there.
Exactly. That's
But
what we
the
do.
thing,
Just take the
well, we got
audio.
all kinds of things, but I need to tell everybody where you can find me.
Yep.
Hopefully, you can find me not
Mhm.
next week, but the following week. Sometime here soon, you're going to find me on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central on WBHM-DB.com. I'm in the process of rescheduling everybody I had to unschedule due to family urgencies and other things. So please be patient with me. I will be back on the air soon. And thank you.
And you can find all the shows over at the Bill of Rights Network on Facebook, Things Network on Facebook,
Prometheus.
Thank you. Productions Facebook page. I have a hard time with that word, but find them all out. We got another show coming on over on Things Network and the other network. But stay tuned to Bill of Rights because we have another show coming on at 7:30 tonight, The Conservative View, with Tina, Barbara, and Sally. So check all them out. Charles, thank you again for joining us tonight. Check out their YouTube channel at Boogeyman Radio. And we will see you all